Okay, so the Superman movie review time. Okay, let's go. So I've made some notes and yeah. Do I recommend the movie? No, I don't recommend this movie. Um, I was gonna say that if you're a child or you're a parent who has children, then this movie is perfectly fine to go see. And it probably is, but I don't want to, expose your children to bad cinema, although they probably don't really take it that seriously. So I guess it's probably fine if you're under the age of like 14 and you just want a you don't a movie you don't have to really think about and it's just supposed to be fun and goofy, then this is the movie for you. But generally speaking, for adults or people with similar taste to me, will probably not like this movie, especially if you're a fan of the sort of more serious superhero movies like the more serious Batman movies with The Dark Knight or the Zack Snyder version of Superman with Henry Cavill. You're probably not going to like this. So, generally speaking, this is a not recommended by me, and it's actually the first movie on my channel where I'm not recommending you guys to see this. Anyway, let's start with the positives. So, good acting, good acting. There's not a lot of positives, mostly negatives, but good acting considering the bad material that they had to work with. Yeah, so I'd say I don't remember the names of the uh, actors who play these characters, but they were decently good at the actual job of acting. I had problems with the actual characters, but I thought the acting was quite good. Except for some, they were just like really cringe-worthy and not doesn't really require that much talent or acting ability to actually, uh, you know, present the acting ability in the movie. It sort of seemed quite stale and not good, but for the most part, the acting was good. No work politics, but does come a little too close for my comfort with subtle political messages. Yeah, this is the whole thing on Twitter. There were people saying that it's work, that there's some leftist sort of propaganda in there about immigration and all that, and I think some person on part of the production said something that people didn't like, and so people automatically assumed that was the case. But I'm telling you, there's not really a lot of political, sort of in your face political messages. There is some subtleties with that, and it's fine. It didn't really drive me crazy or anything. It was just there throughout the film. Not really a big deal. So I'm glad that it wasn't work. Um, yeah, just sometimes it went a little bit too much and could have focused more on the actual story itself. If you love silly, cliche, and stereotypical humor, then this is a really good movie for you. And that's pretty much all I can say about the positives. The rest of this film is just quite disappointing. So I'm going to get into the negatives right now. Before I get into the negatives, let me see if there's anything else I can say that's good, because that's not a lot. Um, I will say it could have been really good if they kept the tone more serious. I do like the bright colors. It's it's kind of nice. It's kind of like more of a positive Superman. It's more of a uh, optimistic. You have to do. It gives this stereotypical message of you have to do good no matter what, even if it creates political tension or whatever. You still have to do the right thing. So I like that message. I just wish the writing was much better. So I'm not saying this movie is terrible. I'm just saying, for me, I didn't really like it. It was more disappointing for me. But let's get into the negatives. Okay, bad CGI overload. What do I mean by that? I mean what I've meant in my other reviews where basically I feel like it's decently good CGI, where you see the CG and it looks good, but it's too much. I wish they used more practical effects. That's what I mean when I say overload. It's just too much. It's like in your face, and everywhere you look, it's like, oh, that's like obvious CG, and it's just too much CGI. Even with something where you can easily do practically, and I don't know if they did, I haven't Googled it, but there's a scene that's in the trailer, so this is a no spoiler review, by the way. Um, it's in the trailer. Superman saves a girl from a bunch of orange barrels flying, and to me that just looks fake anyway. Like, why couldn't you do it with practical effects, where you throw really soft barrels at Superman and he saves the girl anyway, and he takes that the actor takes the damage on his back. Like, it's not gonna be that difficult to do that. But instead they went the, slow motion saving her really slowly. It's just obvious that it's CG. Um, in the trailer, he also gets hit with a can, and that seemed real to me. But that's pretty much the only real sort of fighting action scene in this entire thing. Oh yeah, forgot to mention the other thing I don't like is the flying CGI. Um, when I say I forgot to mention, I forgot to write it in my notes. The flying, I don't really. It just doesn't look like he's actually flying. It looks like he's on some kind of CGI canvas and he's just going really quickly without any uh, effort. He's just going straight and it just looks strange to me. Like, I really love the original 1978 movie, and in that, the flying just looks way more realistic. Like he's actually flying. You can feel the wind, whereas it looks like he's in the air with no, there's no tension in the air. It's like vroom, like a racing car or something. It's not, it doesn't feel that uh exciting. Anyway, this is a rare critique that I have. I don't usually complain about the directing, but I think the directing in this by James Gunn is just not that good, or it's not my kind of taste. Um, Bad directing with it being too flashy and all over the place. Over the top camera movements during the action where you can't even tell what's going on in the scene gives no time to absorb a situation or to build up tension, just puts you right in the action. Yeah, so what I mean by that is it reminds me of the bad Marvel movies where the camera movement it like pans almost in a 180 degrees angle, and you're seeing action happen, and it's like really fast, and I have no problem actually seeing it. um I'm not saying you can't tell what's going on. I'm saying that it's kind of it feels lazy. Again, you're going back to the CGI overload. It just when characters like throw their weapons at each other or something, the way the camera moves really quickly, it's like it's supposed to look good, but to me it just looks too flashy and not really my type of directing style. Um, oh, I'll get to it later, but that's where another problem comes in, where I just feel like there's too many characters, too many villains. It's not that I can't keep up with it. You can put 50 characters in the movie, I'll still be able to keep up with it. It's just that you can't build any tension or you can't create any interesting situations with the characters if there's like 10 characters. Whether it's good characters or the villains, there's just too many of them, so you don't really care about most of them. You really only care about Superman, Lois Lane, in terms of villains, Lex Luthor. He was good. That actor was good, by the way. Uh, Stereotypical and cliche, which is I'll get into that. Um, but the other sort of side characters, especially the cringy ones, which I won't get into because it's spoilers. But there was a female character in this that was really annoying to watch, and it actually had like some of the dumbest plot situations in a superhero movie I've ever seen. It's really stupid. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that later in my notes. Anyway, dang, I ramble on too much. Okay, so after that I have, let's see. Dang, I lost where I was. Tone is not taken seriously. Yep. Too many random jokes that are not funny. Tone that's not taken seriously, like, I mean that uh, you break the tension every couple of minutes with a joke. I'd say there's like two moments in this um, movie where you're actually supposed to take it seriously, and even then it's kind of broken a little bit because you lose that initial tension. Or there's not enough of it throughout the movie taking it seriously, so then when the serious uh, sort of thing happens, you're not sure, is there going to be a joke here or is it actually going to be serious? It's just like you're waiting for it to be. As someone that prefers serious superhero movies, it's really frustrating to watch this movie. That's what I'm trying to say. Too many random jokes that aren't funny. Yeah, unless you're a child, you probably won't find it funny. There's a cameo in this that I found funny, but I didn't really laugh. It just made me smile. No, is it a spoiler if I mention it? Whatever, I'm not going to mention it. Really cringy side characters, I just mentioned that, in some cases. One in particular that actually has one of the dumbest side plot points. Yep, there's a piece of dialogue in this where I can't say it because it's a spoiler, but it involves a female character that is in a relationship with two characters. One character is a good guy and the other character is a bad guy. That's all I'll say. That's not really a spoiler. It's just like so from that description you'll know who I'm talking about. It's just I just think that's stupid. Anyway, hence bad writing, aka James Gunn. Yeah, my notes are really brief and direct. Yeah. So I just think it's bad writing. You could have done it much better. Again, if it took itself more seriously, I would have really enjoyed this movie. Lois Lane acting was the actress who plays Lois Lane, the acting was good, but her character is giving too much uh, not believable abilities near the end of the film, while at the beginning I did like her. Yeah, so without spoilers, basically, she is good as Lois Lane when it's the traditional Lois Lane type character, sort of the journalist who works at Daily Planet. When she's doing that, I really enjoy her character, but when she's doing extra stuff that I can't really talk about, it's so hard to talk about movies sometimes when you can't talk about spoilers because I can mention why, but if I mention why, then it will spoil the film. So anyway, throughout the movie, she's basically doing things that I don't really believe is in her original character. I haven't really read the comics, so maybe she does do that thing, and in that case, I'm wrong. But especially near the end of the movie, I just feel like she's doing way too many uh, hero-like things that she wasn't taught how to do. There's no indication that she can do those things, and it just seems unbelievable. Like, how can she actually do the things she's doing? Not really. It's not really grounded in reality. This is the problem with this movie. Anyway, what's next? Too many storylines were resolved based on coincidences. Yeah. So there's oftentimes a problem, and then that problem gets solved like that, son, because it just gets solved. Like if you know, I can't explain it because it's spoilers again. How many times am I going to say that? But uh, Superman basically gets him in trouble, or something happens where there's supposed to be tension, but there's no tension because there's no build up to the tension, and then you basically resolved it in 2 seconds because a character feels like something is needed to be done, and then Superman basically just saves the day. That's not a spoiler, that's just what happens with Superman. He saves the day. So, and I feel like those things happening is too much of a coincidence, which goes back to the fact that I think it's bad writing. Just bad writing, what can you do? Um, AKA the main reason why I say it's bad. Yep, there you go. When I write my notes and when I say it now, it's like it's the same person thinking. Like someone else didn't write these notes, I wrote these notes because I literally improv that just then, and then I'm reading my notes and I say, oh, it's because it's bad writing. Anyway, so yeah, too much rambling. Just not taking seriously, which is what I like with characters like Batman that are more grounded in reality. Yeah. Lex Luthor had good acting, and you felt that his character was taken more seriously, which I like, unlike the original from 1978, which was really good. But his Lex Luthor was more joking around, whereas this one's taken more seriously. So I put that in the negatives, but it's kind of a positive in the same time. But the negative part is that it was just too cliche and stereotypical. The motivation is just to kill because he doesn't like Superman or something like that. Like we don't really get a really big explanation or understanding of why Lex Luthor actually wants to destroy people or the planet. Like, why does he actually? There's no like really big sort of motivation for him. It's just like he's evil to be evil. That's what I got from it anyway. So I like the acting of Lex Luthor. I just didn't like his character was kind of okay. It was better because it was more serious, but it was still like really just ha ha ha. Sort of, it reminded me of Doctor Evil from Austin Powers. Like it's so like stereotypical nonsense. Anyway, music. This is a rare critique from me, because usually music in movies I like. There's rarely any movie where the music is kind of lame. But in this case, I think it was kind of lame, because the music was bad in the sense that the score is not that the, not that the sense not in the sense that the score is bad, but I think reusing it here from the 1978 movie, the John Williams score, doesn't work because it's not the same tone. So it's just nostalgia bait. Yeah. Um, I don't know what else to say with that because it's pretty obvious. Like, you're taking the John Williams score for a Superman movie that has basically a completely different tone. Like, even though the OG movie has similar themes of being good and just and doing the right thing and saving people and all that, but it's still a really campy sort of childish Superman, this one. And so I think using that original score is just really cheap. Um, and they used it in like the most stereotypical fashion where Superman is posing in like a stereotypical superhero kind of pose, and it feels good because I love that score by John Williams. And when I got home, I started humming that tune. Um, but it's so cheap. Like, why couldn't you just create an original score? And the original score they had was just fine. That's my problem with the music. When there's action scenes and buildings are falling apart and all that, they have an original score, but it's just like it's alright. The Hans Zimmer score in Man of Steel is much better. Why couldn't they just do that? Hire, I don't know, James Newton Howard and make an original score for a new Superman. Why do they have to reuse John Williams? It just seems a little bit lame. Anyway, romantic parts was lacking chemistry between Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Yeah, I didn't really feel the chemistry between them. It's really that simple. The scenes itself was pretty cool, where, I don't know if it's in the trailer or not. Mm, but basically, there's multiple scenes where they get, romantic, and it's a perfectly fine scene. I just feel like they put you into the relationship from the very beginning of the movie, so there's no like, oh, Lois Lane discovering Superman, that kind of uh romantic tension. There's nothing there. There's not a lot of chemistry because they just jump into it straight away without building up that friendship or sort of relationship that they had before this movie started. Because, yeah, that's the thing. This movie jumps into the a story without sort of giving the origin story, which is fine, but you have to do it in the right way. And I just feel like they skipped a bunch of uh, things to actually build up the characters so that you care more about the characters. So when there's danger and Superman is put in a bad situation, um, there's tension with that. But then when he rescues people and then goes back to Lois and I don't know if this is spoilers. It's stereotypical, so I'm just gonna mention it. When he goes back to Lois and it's romantic again, um, you actually feel the love. Like a really good romantic movie takes at least, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes to actually build on the relationship so that you as the audience member can feel that they actually love each other. Whereas this, I just don't feel the chemistry there at all. Um, yeah. There's no tension. It's so cliche that you know Superman will get out of the bad situation completely unfazed. There's no, not much sense. He's, there's not much, no sense that he's ever in danger because the writing allows something to conveniently happen so that he can get away and save the day. No surprises. Yeah. So, like in Jurassic Park, the original, you actually feel the danger because of the tension that builds up. Like before you see the dinosaurs, or like in Jaws, Steven Spielberg is really good at this because he was inspired by Alfred Hitchcock. You don't necessarily show the villain or the danger, and you sort of build the tension slowly, and then all of a sudden it's like not necessarily a jump scare, but it's there, and you just actually feel scared because it was built up over a couple of minutes. Whereas with this, it's you don't have that at all. Like a certain uh, there's a certain scene where you just jump into the action straight away. There's no like, oh my God, there's dangerous. We have to run away from this uh evil sort of villain, or it's basically this robot who he's basically the same thing as the villain in Iron Man, the very first Iron Man, and it just there's nothing there. There's no build up to where you feel bad for the people in the city because you don't really know any of them, or even people that are close to Superman. It's like no one gets in real danger. If there is danger, then it's resolved in a few minutes. It's not like it's a pretty long thing, and when it is a pretty long thing, it gets resolved really quickly in a convenient way, if that makes sense. Like we all know that the biggest uh, danger Superman can get into is with kryptonite. And that's in this movie, except it's not really a problem at the end. Anyway, I guess I did kind of do spoilers, not really. Um, yeah. Also, there might have been, it might have been better if there wasn't so, it wasn't so excessive with villains and characters in general. Only one or two, and build them up to be really good rather than 10 separate ones that aren't as interesting. Yeah, there wasn't 10 villains. I'm just saying, characters in general. It felt like there was 10 different side characters that are just not as interesting. Like Hawkgirl, no interest in seeing like if they do a spin-off or any other thing with her character because I just don't care. There's no like interest in it since the main ones they should have focused on is Superman, Lex Luthor, maybe one or two villains that are built up over time that have to take the fight with Superman, and also on the good side, maybe one to two, three maybe good characters that, you know, I would take an extra 20 minutes to build those characters up without jokes every 2 seconds to where the audience actually likes them. You like them for like basic reasons that they look cool or they make funny like random comments every now and then, or it wasn't that funny to me, but I can see how someone would just automatically like them, but I don't because I need time to actually get to know these characters first before you sort of put them all in one movie. I just feel like it would have been better if there was less uh, characters, fewer characters to, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna repeat myself 10 times. Oh God, this video is 27 minutes long. Oh my God. Oh boy. Okay, I need to finish this. This version of Superman seems a little too weak for my taste, where he constantly needs someone help to get by and seems to feel pain more easily than other adaptations. Yeah, this is for me, my assumption, and I might be wrong because I haven't read every single comic or I haven't seen every single movie or every single TV show. But my assumption about Superman is that he has super strength. So when you've seen it in the trailer, when he gets hurt easily and he loses his power, I'm thinking, why is that happening? Because I thought he has super strength. And I understand that he can feel pain. I googled it before this. He can feel pain, but that's perfectly fine. But for my taste, he felt a little bit too physically weak. When he needed to be strong and the writing told him to be strong, he was strong. And that those parts I liked. But when the writing decided that Superman has to be really weak all of a sudden, then he was weak. It made sense in certain situations, like with the kryptonite. Uh, that makes perfect sense. But there were multiple situations where he just seems a little bit too weak for my taste. Um, Nevertheless, ultimately, if you like a silly and more children-friendly version of Superman, then you'll like this movie. But if you're like me and you want something more serious, then this movie is not for you. Also, so far, I still haven't seen a better Superman movie or actor to portray him than the original Christopher Reeves from 1978. I just feel like that's the best Superman movie. Um, yeah. Okay. Here's my score. For filmmaking, I give it a 6 out of 10, and for the movie overall, I give it a 5 out of 10. Do not recommend it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. You can support me with links in the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.